inside?
Yes, it's like a Jane Austen novel with less courses.
And you are?
Mr. and Mrs. Crabtree.
Oh, yes, our newlyweds. I hope your ride-in was satisfactory.
Splendid. Are you Mr. Cornish?
Mr. Hathaway, I'll be looking after you. Now, let's get you your keys.
Oh, George, look. I can't wait to try authentic English cuisine.
Welsh rabbit.
Rarebit. It's cheese. I think.
Well, we'll have to make dinner reservations as soon as he's back.
Well, wouldn't you like to eat in our room? The Sunrise Suite is the best in the hotel. It's the only one with a private bathroom.
Isn't that the one we agreed was too expensive?
I've been corresponding with Mr. Cornish, and he agreed to offer it to us at no extra charge. The morning view is supposedly spectacular.
Well, I hope we'll find something better to do than watch the sunrise.
Here we are, then. Slatter will lead you to your suite.
Oh, my. How kind of you.
Slatter does not speak English. However, she is fluent in the language of hospitality. Enjoy your stay.
Oh, there seems to be some mistake.
I beg your pardon.
These keys are for the garden suite. Mr. Cornish promised us the Sunrise Suite.
Mr. Cornish has had a convention in Leeds, but it is he who authorized the switch. The garden suite is our top room, with finer amenities and a view of the rose garden. I assure you, your needs will be met.
You're welcome. Was I supposed to give her a tip? How many shillings in a fur? What's wrong?
This bed feels lumpy, and those creatures are ghastly.
Well, you'll feel better once you take in the rose garden. Come on. What do you think?
I think Mr. Hathaway is pulling a fast one.
You may need to let this go, Effie. I mean, somebody else must have booked the Sunrise Suite. There's not much we can do about it now. I think it'll take more than a bottle of wine to pull this off, Effie.
Don't be such a naysayer. I'm sure they'll be happy to switch once they learn we're on our honeymoon.
I don't know why you think this room is going to be any better than ours.
Well, you haven't seen it yet. Faces the sunrise, which is considered good luck.
Give it a proper policeman's knock.
George, he's dead.
Not so lucky after all.
Oh, postcard from Effie and George.
Oh, where are they now?
They've left Paris and they're due to arrive in Hampshire today. How thrilling it would be to be on your honeymoon.
It certainly was for us. Do you remember that dinner in New York City?
How could I forget? We couldn't keep our eyes off each other.
So much so we almost didn't notice the Oysters Rockefeller arriving.
I suppose it's hard to keep that kind of passion alive. What with Susanna and work.
Do you feel our relationship is lacking passion? Hello. Yes, it is. I'll be right there. Duty calls. Excuse me, miss. I'm looking for room 415.
The man who died?
Yes, you've heard.
I alerted the front desk when he wouldn't answer the door. None of us were surprised when he took his own life. He was acting peculiar.
It was a suicide.
As far as I know. Straight down the hall, second door to your left.
Thank you.
This one seems rather obvious.
An overdosing?
Based on the empty bottle of laudanum and the excess fluid in his throat, I'd say yes.
Do we have a name?
Nathan Cumberland, sir. He arrived last week from Thunder Bay. Told everyone in the hotel that his ship had finally come in.
Meaning?
Some real estate deal, sir. Poor man thought he had tripled his money. He was buying his fellow guests drinks all week and boasting about finally making his wife and child proud.
And his arrangement soured.
Apparently the check he received was fraudulent and his investor flew the coop. The other guests noted a concerning change in his demeanor after that.
Henry, does this man look familiar to you?
Nope. Should he?
I don't know.
Sir, this is Dr. Bellows. He was with the victim when he perished.
You're a doctor?
Yes. Yes, I'm staying at the hotel. They knocked on my door when they found him. I did everything I could.
Was he conscious when you arrived?
Barely. But he did seem to understand me. He willingly took the ipecac I gave him to expel the drugs. Unfortunately, it was too late.
People often have a change of heart when committing self-murder. Assuming that's what this was.
It's likely, sir. He also left this. It appears to be a suicide note.
I am leaving a world I am not fit to live in. I have failed you as a husband, as a father, and as a fellow human being. It's tragic.
Is there anything else you need from me? I'm afraid I have an appointment.
No, thank you.
Constable Higgins has all my information. Good day.
Seems fairly open and shut, sir. Shall I write it up?
Not quite yet, Henry. There's something I'd like you to do for me.
I trust this will not impact my 8 o'clock dinner reservations. Not if I can help it.
Good evening, my lovelies. I'm sure we've all heard about the incident, but I can assure you everything is fine. His name was Arthur Furlong, a regular at this hotel. It appears he died in his sleep, and his family has been informed. Please enjoy some of our famous house sherry. Compliments of the hotel. And please, let's relax and put this mess behind us.
Good gracious. People drink this of their choice?
Do you think there's a killer among us?
A killer? Effie, did you not just hear what the man said?
Oh, come now. You really believe he died in his sleep? He couldn't have been a day over 50.
People can die at any age.
Mr. Hathaway is clearly in on it. In fact, now that everyone's mingling, it's a perfect time.
Perfect time for what?
To sneak into the room and poke around.
Effie, I'm an officer of the law.
Exactly. All the more reason. If there's a cover-up afoot, it's your duty as an investigator to follow up.
People do seem distracted.
Did I mention that danger makes me amorous?
I'll need your hairpin.
Never seen him before.
Are you certain?
Yes. Why not just close the file and be done with it? Poor bugger clearly offed himself.
He was supposedly swindled by an investor in a real estate scam, but I found no paperwork on his person or any sign of the investor.
You think there was no investor?
Or perhaps there was, but he removed any evidence to cover his tracks.
Sirs, I've searched our files and found no Nathan Cumberland. In fact, there's no record of him anywhere. But in good news, there's a new meat pie shop on Colborne. May I break for lunch?
Actually, I need you to pay a visit to Mrs. Hart at the morgue.
The meat pie shop's in the opposite direction, sir.
You might want to hold off on lunch. I need you to lift finger marks off a corpse.
Oh.
Oh, my. They have a love seat and a piano.
Are you crazy?
There is no chance the garden suite is the top suite in this hotel.
Wait a minute. Are we doing all of this so you could compare suites?
Oh, come on, George. You were curious, too.
I don't believe it. Do you even think this chap was murdered?
Lavender. Smells like the fields of Somerset.
Effie, the door. Get under the bed.
Henry, did you get the finger marks?
Yes, sir. And you were right. Nathan Cumberland is actually Harvey Knowles, and we do have a file on him. Guess who opened it?
Afternoon, Detective. You know perfectly well I'm no longer a detective. I do indeed, but I'm hoping I can convince you to play one, at least for an afternoon. I'm looking into a man's death.
You certainly are consistent.
His name is Harvey Knowles.
Close. Who was that tip? Why did he have a gun? What was he doing in here?
George, look. The lavender soap. It's gone.
I suppose even murderers want a supple scent to their skin.
Oh my God. This is so exciting. Feel my heart. It's pounding.
Wait a minute. A man died on this bed.
Who cares? George! That wasn't there before.
It's still warm.
Well, mice don't just die like that. Could it have eaten something?
Wait a minute. Effie, look at this.
That doesn't look right.
This hose has been disconnected.
Do you feel a little nauseous?
Oh my God. It's gas.
That was on purpose, wasn't it?
Someone was venting carbon monoxide into the room.
Well, does this mean what I think it means?
It means you were right the first time. Mr. Furlong didn't die of natural causes. He was murdered.
I can't believe it. There really is a killer among us.
Well, it's too late to alert the authorities, and we're a half day from civilization thanks to your insistence on booking the most remote hotel in the Western Hemisphere.
You're not really still on about that inn in Marseille you were pushing for.
No, I'm sorry. Look, we should work together.
Agreed. We're the only ones we can trust.
Someone's gone to great lengths to make Mr. Furlong's death look accidental.
The Sunrise Suite is the only one with a private bathroom.
Which means it's the only one that can be rigged to emit carbon monoxide.
Ergo, whoever arranged the switch must be in on it.
Mr. Hathaway.
I knew there was something off about him.
He must have made the switch when Mr. Cornish left for Leeds.
And then pretended the idea came from Mr. Cornish himself.
How do we prove it?
I saw a ledger behind the desk. Should tell us everything.
How do we get it without Hathaway seeing?
I have an idea.
Mrs. Crabtree, are you enjoying the splendors of the garden suite?
Oh, indeed, indeed. Now, who's this?
That's Mr. Cornish.
There seem to be many photos of him and none of you.
Not all of us are as vain as he.
You don't like him, do you? Are you jealous that he's been invited to a convention in Leeds while you're stuck here?
I wouldn't wish Leeds on anyone, least of all myself. Besides, Mr. Cornish has seniority over me, thus it was the logical choice.
Yes, that's one theory. Allow me to posit another. Mr. Cornish was chosen over you because as a manager, he would never have put up with this. We found this in our room. Is this the type of service becoming of your supposed top suite?
Please, keep your voice down.
I will not be silenced. Not until you tell me how a mouse got into my suite.
How about a fruit plate?
A lovely selection of fruits will be on their way to your room. Compliments of the house.
And a cheese plate?
Yes, of course. Also complimentary.
And a bottle of Armagnac.
I can arrange some of our fine house sherry.
Armagnac, take or leave. 20 years minimum.
Perhaps I can hustle up a 10.
That may suffice.
And you need to promise to keep this little incident under wraps.
That'll depend on how quickly we get the goods. Chop, chop.
I employed Harvey Knowles on occasion as an informant. He used to run swindles. Knowles was a con artist. Charming one at that. Surprised to see him die this way.
You don't believe Knowles took his own life?
I don't believe Knowles would have fallen for a real estate scam.
What makes you so sure?
Well, he would have known what a fraudulent check looked like because he ended up running a fraudulent check scheme himself, which was rather out of character.
How so?
Knowles and his former partner in crime, Bernadette Childs, had a code in which they only swindled those they felt deserved it. They parted ways years earlier.
Did he find another partner?
If he did, that's news to me. Knowles was a solitary figure who kept to himself, and I haven't seen him in over a year.
Well, surely he must have a more current acquaintance that could help us.
No one I know. Although, I do recall a wealthy woman he was courting.
What was her name?
I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere. No, she'd be of little use.
Little is all we have.
I cannot believe it. My beloved Harvey taking his own life.
Did he strike you as depressed?
Oh, heavens, no. But he did strike me as passionate. I can only assume he was burdened by the passing of his beloved Aunt Esther.
Which aunt was this again?
Oh, his favorite, of course. The one who raised him after his parents died in that fire.
Did you know this woman?
We corresponded, often by mail. We never did meet in person, but I suppose it's for the best, given her condition.
Refresh my memory.
Oh, the poor woman suffered from tuberculosis. She was given months to live. But then Harvey found a revolutionary clinic in New York.
New York? That sounds like a costly undertaking.
Oh, it was, but it was worth it. The clinic prolonged her life by years. I was happy to chip in, buoyed by her lovely thank you letters.
These letters she sent, do you by chance still have them?
Good Lord, I knew it.
What is it?
The sunrise suite, not the garden suite, is the top suite.
That's all well and good, but perhaps we should focus on who switched the rooms.
Right, Constable, we are solving a murder here. This is curious. George, it wasn't Mr. Furlong who took our room.
Who did?
A man named Mr. Castle. And the switch was authorized by Mr. Hathaway, not Mr. Cornish.
Castle, isn't he the chap with the 8 p.m. dinner reservation?
So how did Mr. Castle and Mr. Furlong end up switching rooms?
If Castle was in the sunrise suite, where was Furlong?
Arthur Furlong at the Oak Suite.
Does that mean Castle's in the Oak Suite now?
Perhaps Mr. Castle rigged his room to emit carbon monoxide and then convinced Mr. Furlong to switch.
Hell of a way to commit a discreet murder.
Do you think Mr. Castle and Mr. Hathaway could be working together?
I think we need to get into that Oak Suite and see what we can find.
You said he had 8 p.m. dinner reservations?
It's 8:15 now. That room should be empty for another hour at least.
What if we get caught?
Then we pretend we're lost and tip immediately.
Shilling. Now, is that more or less than a farthing?
I don't think anybody knows. Let's get on with it.
Parents who died in a fire. That's quite the yarn.
Sometimes the bigger the lie, the easier it is to tell. Well, just as I suspected, the handwriting in Aunt Esther's thank you letters matches that of Harvey Knowles' suicide note.
He was posing as the grateful aunt to keep those checks coming.
Something tells me it isn't the first time he's pulled this scheme.
Leaving a number of potential victims with motive for murder.
The question is, where did he send these from? Certainly not New York, given the Ontario stamp.
Aha. Miss Alcock is not the sharpest tool in the shed. What's that?
A mistake?
Seems oddly placed for a mistake.
Is that some sort of flower?
A lily. Did I not see that on the sign at Hotel Florentine?
I'll have Henry connect with the concierge.
Oh, that is so not fair. This room has a chaise lounge.
Effie, focus.
Right.
Do you see anything unusual?
Only that Mr. Castle has exceptional taste in clothes. This is one of the most finely tailored shirts I've ever seen. Feel this.
GR hardly stands for Ernest Castle.
Oh my.
Good Lord, his soap collection costs more than my entire wardrobe. Is that a gun case? Where's the gun?
What a tragedy. Poor Granville.
Granville.
Granville?
Oh, Granville Barrington. He was a favorite guest at the Florentine. Every guest was charmed and delighted by him. He was quite the character.
When did he stay there?
It must have been 2 months ago. He came in to cash in on a real estate deal, but unfortunately, the investor bamboozled him.
Let me guess, he gave Granville a fraudulent check and left town?
Why, yes. He took it very hard. He tried to end his own life. We were very grateful there happened to be a doctor at the hotel.
Who administered Ipecac in order to expel the laudanum he'd ingested?
Right again. It was quite the scene. Everyone was grateful to see one survive. The doctor even spearheaded a charity drive to get him back on his feet. And everyone chipped in.
Hey, doctor who gave him the Ipecac, do you remember his name?
Bellows. Dr. Gordon Bellows.
What's your business with Mr. Castle?
Well, really, we were just interested in the layout of the room, and oh, you should see the soap.
George!
What? Get. I'm going to ask you one last time. What exactly is your business with Mr. Castle?
You're not Mr. Castle. You're George V, the King of England. GR, George Rex for the King. That's why you had those initials in your undergarments.
You saw my undergarments?
I can't believe we're sitting here with the King of England.
Keep your voice down. He is the king, and he could have you charged with treason.
So what are you doing in Hampshire?
I am much more interested in why the two of you are here.
We came for the lovely foliage and the world-class buffet.
I mean, why you are here in my room.
Your Majesty, please accept our humble apologies. I'm George Crabtree with the Toronto Constabulary, and I'm here on honeymoon with my wife, Effie.
You're a police officer.
In Canada, that's right.
Police or no police, you still need to explain why you are in my room.
Well, the truth is, Your Majesty, we found evidence that Arthur Furlong, the man staying in the Sunrise Suite, was murdered.
Carbon monoxide. Somebody tampered with the gas heater in his ensuite bathroom.
We were curious only because we were initially assigned that room.
If this is true, Your Majesty, our worst fears are confirmed.
What you're about to hear must be kept in the strictest of confidence, by order of the Crown.
Yes, Your Majesty.
The reason my valet Wadsworth and I are traveling incognito is to visit my troubled son, Edward, who is honing his academics at a special school in Portsmouth. It was a risk I was willing to take, even given the presence of the Black Chalice. The Black Chalice is a secretive organization pushing back on my plans to reform the hereditary peerage.
We've long suspected that there might be members in these parts, and evidently we were right.
You see, Wadsworth secured me the hotel's top suite, which we must have unknowingly taken from you. I was unable to take my afternoon nap on account of my grievous musophobia.
Musophobia? Is that a British affliction?
His Majesty is fearful of mice.
So I fled my suite.
And neglected to inform me.
And happened upon Mr. Furlong enjoying a cigar in the garden. I explained my situation, and he offered to switch, since my room was clearly superior. Now that we know the room had been tampered with, the only conclusion is that we were the target.
We?
His Majesty is using the royal we.
So what is our plan?
We will do nothing.
But there's a murderer out there.
Given that their first attempt was a failure, they're unlikely to strike again tonight, so long as they assume we're not onto them. Now, please, return to your room and pretend you know nothing. I will arrange for His Majesty to be escorted to safety at dawn.
You will remember me only as Ernest Castle, and you will never speak of this again.
I checked with the Canadian Medical Registry. Dr. Gordon Bellows has been dead for 5 years.
The person posing as him has procured a pretty penny off his name.
It's quite the brilliant scheme he and his partner Knowles had going. Knowles would check into a hotel posing as a man whose ship had come in.
And his partner in crime, posing as Dr. Bellows, would show up several days later.
Then Knowles would reveal that his windfall had backfired and made clear that he intended to take his own life, going so far as to ingest laudanum.
Dr. Bellows would be called in and use ipecac to expel the laudanum, creating a scene so authentic no one would dare question it.
The perfect opening to mount an appeal for money in Knowles' name, and then milking the hotel guests for everything they're worth.
He probably volunteered a large portion of his own money from the very first time they pulled this con.
Well, Harvey Knowles' murder seems to be coming into sharper focus.
Apparently, the swindler got swindled. His partner likely offed him to keep all the money.
Let's get a sketch of this medical imposter straight away.
I'll connect with our sketch artist and make sure Henry distributes it all over town.
One thing that bothers me. Hotel guests saw the doctor give the victim ipecac. Why didn't it work?
Once I deliver the sketch, I'll drop in on Mrs. Hart at the morgue.
Do you mind if I tag along?
You're not getting paid.
The King of England. Can you believe that just happened?
No, nor will anyone else. No one will believe this happened to us.
George, if Mr. Hathaway is a member of the Black Chalice, do you think he's working alone? Or...
We need to keep our voices down. We made a promise to the crown.
Then I suppose we've no choice but to get back to why we came here in the first place.
Oh my.
As suspected, his blood was saturated with opium and alcohol, the main ingredients in laudanum.
Why wasn't it expelled? Witnesses saw Knowles be administered ipecac.
They might have seen him take some kind of syrup, but it wasn't ipecac. I found traces of starches and sugars, nothing else.
Could our fake doctor have switched the ipecac for a placebo syrup?
If he did, he's guilty of murder.
You're welcome.
Hathaway can't be working alone. I bet she's in on it.
Maybe they're all in on it. Should we follow her?
Julia?
Hello, stranger.
What's all this?
Do you recognize this dress?
It's lovely. Should I?
I wore it on our honeymoon. The night we couldn't take our eyes off each other. The nanny has taken Susanna to the park. We have some time to kill.
Julia, I must admit, you've caught me off guard. Hello? Yes. Which intersection? I'll be right there. Julia, a man matching Dr. Bellow's description has been spotted. We'll have to delay our date, but only a little.
It was there, in the ruins of Thebes, where we found the lost tomb of Asclepius and discovered the healing properties of its sands. Sprinkle a few grains in your bed and watch as back pain, rheumatism, and arthritis disappear overnight. This miracle of the East can be yours for less than the cost of... Terribly sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We've just run out.
Seems curious that they need to lock the coal room.
Unless it serves some other purpose, like secret meeting room for the Black Chalice.
Yes, I've engaged in a swindle or two in my time to make ends meet, but I'm not a murderer.
You gave your partner a benign syrup when he was expecting ipecac.
Harvey was like a brother to me. Why would I want him dead?
To reap his half of the profits, for starters.
We were going to pull our hotel con in every province in the country, and we hadn't even finished Ontario yet. Yes, Detective Harvey was a financial windfall to me, but more important, he was my best friend. I am as devastated and confused by his death as everyone else is. May I please leave now? Thank you, gentlemen. I think I can take it from here.
Off he goes to swindle again.
Most likely. You have to admit, his story rings true.
I don't disagree. Why go through lengths to switch the ipecac when he could have ignored the call in the first place?
Unless someone else switched it without his knowledge.
But who would have access to his room? Friend?
Perhaps this warrants another visit to the hotel.
Well, I don't think the Black Chalice are holding any meetings in here.
Let's just pretend to get some coal and go back to our room.
Well, we could if we had a coal shovel.
You lost it, remember?
No, dear, you lost it. In any case, I'll get some firewood.
Georgie, I hate to bring this up, but it was you who lost the shovel.
No, Effie, I clearly remember you had it when you were saying it felt drafty.
No, I distinctly... Ah! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! It's Mr. Cornish.
I guess you didn't make it to that convention in Leeds after all.
Your Majesty.
Mr. Castle, we hate to bother you, but we've got a bit of a situation.
This had better be good.
While collecting firewood, my wife and I discovered the body of Mr. Cornish.
The day manager? No, he's at a convention in Leeds.
No, he's in the coal room. He's been garroted.
Proof positive that Mr. Hathaway is a member of the Black Chalice.
And Zlata, too, no doubt. She had a key to the room.
I reckon the whole hotel is in on it.
Well, this changes everything. The assailants are going to know that we're onto them. This may trigger a response.
We need to leave now.
Agreed. But Mr. Hathaway is likely to be Black Chalice. You two newlyweds are going to need to help us by creating a distraction so that we can slip away to the stables.
How are we supposed to do that?
What, a petty hotel squabble should do the trick. 10 minutes tops is all we need, but it'll need to feel authentic.
Can we count on you two?
I don't understand. I thought Mr. Cumberland took his own life.
His name was Harvey Knowles, and all is not what it seems. We need to know who among your staff would have access to room 415.
This is a small private hotel, and I run a very tight ship. The only ones with access would be myself and my cleaner, Mabel, and I, for one, never left my desk.
Well, then we'll need to speak with your cleaner. I ran into her the morning that Mr. Knowles' body was found.
Of course. She's right over there. Mabel? A word?
Oh, this is not the woman that I met. Do you employ a different cleaner?
Not for the last 20 years.
The Crabtrees. How delightful. Did you enjoy the Armagnac?
Oh, do not play nice with us, Hathaway. We were shocked to learn that the garden suite is not, in fact, your top suite, and we demand to know why you gave it away to Mr. Castle.
Yes, we're oh so upset. And when I say we, I of course mean her.
Are we not a unified front on this?
Unified.
Oh, good Lord, George. Why did I ever marry you?
No, I don't know. That's a good question. If you love this sunrise suite so much, perhaps you should marry
Nothing to
it.
say.
Have you lost your mind like you lost your little shovel?
Carry on.
Oh,
Carry
yes,
on.
lost the shovel. I'm the loser of all things,
Yes, you
aren't I?
lose things, George. You're about to lose the best thing that ever happened to you.
Oh, well, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing to lose after all. I didn't mean that last part. Urgent message from Mr. Castle. Wadsworth is
It wasn't supposed to get messy like this. All I had to do was authorize a room change, and they would do the dirty work. Oh, well. In for a penny, in for a pound.
Found the shovel. Effie, a telegram came through. Wadsworth is in on it. We need to warn the king.
Yes, a much more delicate nose. How's this? That's it. Let's get this picture up all over town straight away.
That may not be necessary. That's Bernadette Childs.
Harvey Knowles' former partner?
Yes, and I know where I might find her.
Your Majesty. Your Majesty.
We won't be needing this anymore.
Old habits die hard, huh, Bernadette?
Hello, Llewellyn. How'd you find me?
Every creature has a modus operandi, even a rat.
Is that all I am to you? A rat? I was your most valuable informant. We had interesting conversations back in the day. Me and you.
And Harvey Knowles, fellow con you once called a friend. Why did you do it?
Harvey broke the golden rule. A con capitalizes on greed, lust, vanity, but never human kindness. I couldn't sit by while he and his new partner swindled hotel guests who were only trying to be kind.
You speaking of rules is the very definition of irony.
Come on, Llewellyn. You once agreed with me on this. And it wasn't just the hotel guests Harvey swindled. It was his lover, his family, even me. A new partner of his must have rotted his brain.
So, that's why you switched the syrup? So Harvey would rot in a casket while his partner in crime rotted in jail?
It was protecting our livelihood. He crossed the line. There's a code.
There is indeed, which is why you need to come with me.
Thank you for the gun, Mr. Crabtree. I'm so sorry you're about to use it to unknowingly assassinate the king. You know, I wasn't sure what to do with you two at first. And then the perfect narrative presented itself. An epic fight over the Sunrise Suite.
That'll never work. You'd have to kill us too.
Precisely.
Oh.
Your authentic bickering is going to lend credence to my upcoming report. And it's going to confirm that you knocked Mr. Hathaway out. You stole his gun. And then you went after the man who unjustly took your honeymoon suite. Thanks to His Majesty's famous lust for guns, it is the only logical explanation as to why I found 3 dead bodies in the unfortunate aftermath of this shootout.
You're welcome.
I owe the both of you my eternal gratitude. I'd knight you if I could, but unfortunately, I think this must be kept under wraps.
We understand, Your Majesty.
I know it's not much, but please accept this small token as a measure of my appreciation.
My goodness. Your Majesty, thank you.
I've also secured you something else. For your remaining time at this hotel, the Sunrise Suite is yours.
Even better than knighthood.
I must say, Detective, solving a case again was quite satisfying.
For me and you both.
Can I interest you in a celebratory cocktail?
Alas, other plans are afoot. But I do hope we get to do this again, Watts. Soon.
Yes.
Told you this suite was lucky.
Julia?
William, I'm glad to see you back.
Oh, it's good to be back.
I'm sorry about before. I know how busy you are, and it was just a silly romantic notion. I should know that we can't just bring back the past.
Oh, I wouldn't exactly say that.
William, oysters Rockefeller. Like our honeymoon dinner in New York.
Only this time we'll definitely notice them arriving.
You remembered our song.
Of course. It was the greatest night of my life.
Well, the night is still young.
She'll be fine.
More deliveries?
My accounts at the tailor and haberdashery are through the roof.
We need to do something before he bleeds us dry.
These came for you?
Splendid. Ah. Arthur, be a charming. Help me get into this here jacket. Oh. Woo. Exemplary work, don't you think?
It is quite beautiful, but it is the third smoking jacket this month. Do you need quite so many?
Oh, one never knows when one will be buried alive again. I want to remain smartly dressed, just in case. Arthur, open that box. Aren't those slippers beautiful? Put those on my feet, please.
Father, there's no need for this. You can put on your own slippers.
Oh, wouldn't it be a shame if I walked out of this house? A dead man walking right into the arms of the authorities. We'd both be hauled off to jail. So when I tell Arthur to put my slippers on my feet, I want Arthur to put my slippers on my feet. Oh, you can do better than that.
Well, I just did what you said.
Kneel. Kneel down. Put my slippers on my feet, boy. I'm waiting. Good. Now the other. That wasn't so hard now, was it?
Anything else?
No. And thank you, Arthur. Okay, where was I? Oh.
Our organization, the Canadian Women's Olympic Campaign, represents women in sport.
What are you trying to accomplish here, ladies?
We want Canada to bring a team of women to the 1912 Stockholm Olympics.
Did you know that 65 women have competed in the Olympics since 1900, but none from Canada?
Well, many would say that's because no one would ever watch women's Olympic sports.
Well, that's complete hogwash. Women are just as thrilling as men. British figure skater Madge Syers, she beat a field of men and won the silver medal at the World Championships.
We are all athletes here, just like the fellas over there. We should be given our fair due.
Well, what sport do you play?
I'm a runner.
But that's not even an Olympic women's sport.
That's precisely our point. It should be.
Maybe embroidery should be an Olympic sport.
I beg your pardon?
Maybe gossiping.
All right, ladies. That's enough time. Tomorrow's demonstration meet will allow these athletes to measure their progress as they work towards the 1912 Olympic Games. Next, we have the men competing in the 100-meter dash. Why don't you lot introduce yourselves?
Walter Knox.
Aurelia.
John Armstrong Howard. Winnipeg.
Timothy Irons. Hamilton.
Scotty Scorch. The fastest man in Canada, born right in this great city.
Mr. Scorch, neither you nor Mr. Armstrong Howard has lost a single race this year. Now that you're going head-to-head, are you a little nervous?
The only reason he's never lost a race is because he's never raced against me.
I can say the same. Don't let your little local success get to your head, Scorch.
Only thing fast about you is your mouth, Scorch.
Lucky nobody asked you, Timmy. I'll show all you pitiful losers exactly how fast I am tomorrow on the track.
My God.
William, you left at the crack of dawn. You forgot your hat.
Thank you. That wasn't necessary. I just wasn't feeling myself this morning with the little one screaming through the night.
Yes, she's improved a little this morning, thankfully. She was finally eating when I left her with Ellie.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yes, I should get back to that, actually.
Oh, wait. I've made something that should help with Susanna's recovery.
What is it?
It's a hydration draft. You see, colds and influenza can put the body in a state of dehydration. Water, of course, is beneficial, but by adding different sugars, sodium, potassium, and fruit, I've created a drink that helps to replenish electrolytes that the body loses during illness.
William, it's blue.
It has blueberry for flavor. Yeah.
Ah, good morning, Doctor. What brings you here so bright and early?
Oh, William forgot his hat.
What? You left the house without your hat? You all right, Murdoch?
Apparently not.
Sleep deprivation. Susanna has us up all night.
Right, well, there's been a body found at Varsity Stadium.
Varsity Stadium? I was there just yesterday.
You were?
Yes, I was speaking to the press about women's athletics. Can you believe that Canada still hasn't sent a single woman to the Olympic Games?
Do other countries? I've been to the Olympic Games. I don't recall seeing girls running around.
Women have been competing since 1900.
I won a gold medal. Did I ever tell you?
Yes, I believe you may have once or twice.
It was a crisp morning in St. Louis. A light fog rolled majestically across the pristine turf.
I really should get to the stadium then.
Yes, I should get going myself, actually. Are you sure you're all right?
Oh, yes, much better.
Oh, yes. Oh.
You don't want to hear the rest? Right, well, I'll take these.
Well, I guess your work is done here.
We'll have to do a full examination just to be sure.
Did you notice the abrasion on his neck?
No.
Not like you to miss something like that?
I've yet to inspect his neck, Detective. There appears to be splinters present under his fingernails.
Curious.
Tired, Detective?
I didn't get much sleep this past weekend. Susanna was sick.
Sorry to hear that. I take the little one is all better now.
Oh, yes. Yes. I've been working on a solution to help replenish her fluids.
You know, I hear athletes use champagne to hydrate. Maybe next time you can try that.
Henry, have you been giving baby Jordan champagne?
Oh, no, I would never. Ruthie is quite unnerved by bubbles.
We will need to postpone the meet until tomorrow, given the tragic circumstances.
Mr. Kittering, I understand you were Scotty Scorch's coach.
Yes. He was the star of my track club. I cannot believe this has happened.
Was he well liked?
Well, I wouldn't say that. Track and field can be quite competitive.
Any idea how he ended up with a javelin embedded in his chest?
None. But I will say this, throwing the javelin is not an easy thing. There aren't a lot of people who could land that throw.
Oh. Well, then please direct me to the people who could.
Last night, myself and a few others were at the Olympic Committee dinner.
At what time did you leave this event?
At 2 a.m. I didn't know anything about this until I arrived just now.
Did you or any of the other javelin men hold a practice yesterday evening?
None of the javelin men have anything to do with this nonsense.
Nonsense?
My teammate told me those damn sprinters got him drunk last night and tricked him into giving him the equipment room key.
The key to the room you're standing in?
Exactly. And then they came back here and had a throwing competition. Talk to Walter Knox. He pulls these kinds of stunts all the time.
Thank you.
When should I expect my javelin to be returned?
The one stuck in the victim?
Yes. She's my favorite.
We went to the pub around 11 p.m. and came back to the track at 1 a.m. The throwing competition was just a bit of fun.
A bit of fun? That killed a man?
No way we killed Scorch.
No? How can you be sure?
He wasn't with us.
Didn't all of the 100-meter men go to the pub?
Everybody but him. He wasn't invited. No one liked him. Not even Timmy and their teammates.
Please don't call me Timmy.
So where was Mr. Scorch last night?
I have no idea.
So it was dark? You all were drunk?
Yes.
So it's possible Mr. Scorch wandered onto the field while you were having your drunken throwing competition, and a flying javelin struck him in the chest.
Sure, but I imagine if a man was struck by a javelin, we would have heard him scream.
A javelin through the heart would have likely killed him instantly. He probably wouldn't have been able to make a sound.
Could we have possibly?
No way. We didn't do this, and that's that.
According to the Algor Mortis calculations, Mr. Scorch died 10 hours prior to his body being discovered, by 10 p.m.
So before the 100-meter men went to the pub?
The javelin entered the victim at a 45-degree angle and penetrated his body 7 inches deep.
7 inches? Through his breastplate? Are you quite sure?
Yes, quite.
What are you thinking, Murdoch? Momentum. What? Mass times speed. Could a javelin be heavy enough
What are you getting
to...
at?
Henry, we're going to need Constable Buster.
Oh, no, not again, sir.
You heard the man, Higgins.
You heard him, Arthur. If we try anything, we will go to jail.
I can't take much more of this. And what if he's plotting something worse? We have to make our move before he makes his.
You're right about that. My father always has something nefarious up his sleeve.
Then we act. Now.
I don't know. We can't afford to miss again.
We won't. I won't.
How can you be so sure?
I'm far from perfect, Violet. But I never make the same mistake twice.
This is too dangerous. We're not a killer. There must be another way.
We've tried everything.
And what about the body? What'll we do when that's all done?
Well, no one's looking for him. He's already dead. All we have to do is bury him. No one will ever be the wiser.
I'm surprised that it's this difficult.
What did you expect? We throw for distance, not to hit a target.
Please. Please let this be the last round.
Stand back.
Oh, very good.
Finally. The javelin has just fallen to the side, sir.
Yes, once the javelin made contact with the breastplate, it simply bounced off.
Can I have my javelin back now?
Oh, yes, of course.
15th time's a charm, eh?
So, the javelin could not have penetrated the breastplate with the amount of force generated by a normal javelin throw.
So the javelin that killed Scorch wasn't thrown?
No, it was run through his chest with deliberate force. This was murder.
So a group of drunken sprinters start throwing javelins around. Our victim arrives, and someone runs him through.
Which means either some unknown person was with Mr. Scorch, picked up an errant javelin and killed him. Or our sprinters are lying.
Sirs, the lads have finished searching Mr. Scorch's rooms. They found this.
Newspaper clippings.
Mr. Scorch was keeping a keen eye on the competition.
That's clearly Walter Knox, but it says Peter Smith.
There he is again.
And this one says Fred Taylor.
A man of many names.
Bring him in, Henry.
Sir.
By the looks of things, Mr. Knox, you've been going from town to town competing under fake names.
Is that a crime, officer?
You're a bloody shark, challenging locals to race for money.
I simply enjoy every aspect of competition.
Don't get cute. The Olympics is only for amateur athletes. Racing for money would make you a professional.
Even if you are using fake names.
Exposing this would disqualify you from the Olympics.
And Mr. Scorch was on to you.
You killed him to keep your secret.
I didn't kill him. I didn't even know that he knew about my enterprise. That snake.
Why would he go to such great lengths to blackmail you and potentially exclude you from competition?
Because if you want to get to the Olympic Games, you have to put on a good showing at these demonstration meets.
I've been to the Olympics. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Well, us athletes don't feel the same. A lot of the men here would do anything to compete at the Olympic Games. Men like Scorch, or that Armstrong Howard. He's the most desperate of all.
What makes Mr. Armstrong Howard so desperate?
Chip on his shoulder. He's always whining that he has an unfair lot because he's colored.
Maybe he has a point.
No, he doesn't. Canada's never sent a colored man to the Olympic Games because none of them are good enough.
Be that as it may, a dead man was collecting evidence that could have ruined your amateur athlete career. So you can see why you make a most compelling suspect.
If I killed him to keep this quiet, why wouldn't I have destroyed the clippings too?
Look at this beauty. The finest cut of beef from the butcher's shop.
Must have cost a pretty penny.
Oh, indeed it did.
How about I carve it for you?
I'd like Violet to carve the roast for me, just like old times.
I wish you didn't force us to fire all of the staff.
Would you rather your little secret got out? You know, botching my murder and all? What are you waiting for, sweetheart? I haven't got all day. Now carve a big old piece for your dear old dad. Oh, my.
Sir? Henry, I'm just preparing Mr. Knox's release forms. Could you please fetch him from the cells?
Right away, sir. I'm just going to put Constable Buster away.
Right.
Okay. Sure, it'll snap back on, sir. Oh, all right, Buster. All right. No. That's not right.
Henry, just leave it and fetch Mr. Knox. I'll take care of it later.
It's all right, sir. I think I've got him.
Fine work.
Murdoch, what have you done with our suspect?
I've released him, sir.
Well, that's a shame. I don't like him one bit.
I can't say I do either. But the question does loom large. Why kill someone to keep a secret and then not destroy evidence?
Of course. Well, if it wasn't him, then who was it? One of the other sprinters trying to eliminate the competition?
I'd like to speak with Mr. Armstrong Howard.
Right then, bring him in.
Oh, Mr. Anderson, you came.
Just here to collect my fee, Detective. Who's this then?
Mr. Anderson here owns the variety store on Adelaide.
Ah, the easy breezy variety store.
Yep, that's the one. As of last week, Reggie McFarland stole from Mr. Anderson's shop.
That rascal's been running amok for months. None of our men have been able to catch him.
Well, Mr. Anderson ran him down. Witnesses say he's as fast as a lightning bolt.
Bastard. Old sticky fingers, they stand a chance. Brilliant. There's a reward for that one. That's what he collects. If you're that fast, you should test your mettle in the track and field meet today.
Oh, yes. If you compete in the 100 or 200-meter dash, I imagine you would do very well.
What fast are those boys running? Some of the men are running the 100 meters in under 11 seconds. 11 seconds? Come on.
You think you could run it faster than that?
When those boys break 10 seconds, give me a call. I'll give them the race of their life.
Why should we be at his beck and call? We aren't his servants. He's jerking us around like puppets on a string.
I purchased it this morning.
Are you sure?
Quite serious. It'll all be done soon.
Everything will be back to normal again.
Finally realized what's important. Being a man. For you.
Walter Knox told us that you are desperate to win the 100-meter dash, so you'll be considered for the Olympics.
Pretty high stakes, especially for a colored man hoping to represent Canada.
Unbelievable. Knox uses any opportunity to throw dirt on my name.
Have you been trying to knock out your competition?
Why would I need to? None of these men have ever beat me in a foot race.
Oh?
Look, I might not be as loud as Scorch or as seasoned as Knox, but I have proven myself to be the best in the field with actual results. No talk.
But is it true that you need to win today's race to go to the Olympics? Perhaps you needed Scorch out of the way to guarantee your win.
Guarantee? Guarantee? I have no guarantee. You really think winning this race is gonna make any difference? Win one race, win two, that's not gonna change anybody's mind. People like Walter Knox will never think I'm good enough, no matter what I do.
Begging your pardon, but isn't that even more reason to get your competitors out of the way?
You're not hearing me. I'm a colored man. I could be the last runner in all of Canada and still stay home. I'm not stupid enough to kill another competitor and assume I'll be on easy street to the Olympic Games.
They characterize us as a bunch of hysterical women. Nothing about the organization at all.
I told you, it's like talking to a brick wall. Those men will never take us seriously.
We need to do something. Something to get us some publicity. You should enter that race today.
But there are no women's races.
Just race the men.
Oh, yes. I like that. Dr. Ogden, what on earth are you feeding your baby?
Oh, it's a hydration draft my husband concocted to help Susanna recover from her illness. It's got potassium and a pinch of salt and sugar. It works like a charm. And it's delicious. Would you like to try some? It's blueberry flavored.
Maybe another time.
Oh, excuse me. Hello, Dr. Julia Ogden. Oh, Mrs. Hart.
I started with algor mortis for time of death, which indicated the victim had died 10 hours prior to discovery, but...
Yes?
There was some inconsistencies when I tested the stomach contents later on.
Is everything all right, Mrs. Hart?
Oh, quite fine, just tired. Here we are. Please take a look. Food is broken down less than it should be for a 10-hour time frame.
So your estimated time of death is off?
Yes. The stomach contents suggest the victim died only 8 hours prior to discovery.
How curious. I do love a deathly conundrum. Oh, what is that?
What?
Look.
Oh, something is separated.
Mercury?
Precisely.
Found in the victim's stomach contents.
Could it have been an ingredient in a tincture of some sort?
Well, I've seen it in all kinds of remedies and medicines. I wouldn't be at all surprised if athletes thought a small amount might help them run faster.
But this was no small amount. We believe he was poisoned.
What's this all about?
You, be quiet. One of you is a killer, and we're going to find out who.
Timothy, what's happening?
They haven't told us anything, Father.
This is ridiculous. You have no right to be going through their things.
Step back, sir. Don't interfere with police procedure.
Just tell us what you're looking for and we'll point you in the right direction.
Mind your own business.
Nothing here, sirs.
Inspector?
What is it?
I saw Mr. Archibald using this to move equipment earlier. Look.
Blood. Do you think the killer used this to move the body?
It certainly would explain why no one heard a murder being committed out in the middle of the field.
Hey, how long will this take? Can I get into the cold cure in the meantime? We just finished the prelims.
Yeah, the finals are coming up next, and I need to get ready.
Hold your horses. We'll be done soon enough.
Sirs, have a look at this.
Mercury. You are coming with us, sir.
This is ridiculous.
Mr. Irons, please calm down.
Calm down. You're harassing my son, and right before his race, no less.
I told you, sir, the detective just has a few questions, and if all is well, your son will be free to go.
We don't have time for this. His race is at 4 o'clock, and he still has to have his warm-up massage.
Sir, please.
I will not allow you blundering brigadiers to distract my son and disrupt his competitive temperament.
Yes, I gave him a little Quicksilver, but it was just to slow him down. There's no way that's what killed him.
But he is dead, and you've just admitted to being the one who poisoned him.
But it can't be. I didn't mean to kill him. Scorch and I have always had this tit for tat, but I never hated him. It was more of a spirited rivalry.
A rivalry that included poisoning.
You'd have to be a sportsman to understand. I did no less than what he's done to me time after time.
You're saying Mr. Scorch has poisoned you in the past?
Not just me. He did it all the time. He'd poison the entire field and walk to victory. Don't you see? I was just getting back at him. And I swear, I only give him enough to make him queasy and sluggish.
Be that as it may, he is dead. So you will be kept in our cells until charges can be brought against you.
But what about the race?
Mrs. Hart, you called?
We did. There's been something of a revelation.
We?
Dr. Ogden and I have been working on confirming the cause of death.
William, Mr. Scorch definitely suffered mercury poisoning. It caused kidney damage and a unique rash on his upper body.
But that isn't the whole story.
There's a second very distinctive rash on his leg.
In addition, found a significant amount of bloody discoloration in the synovial fluid in his knees.
He was an athlete. It could have been an injury.
I initially thought the same, but along with the other symptoms, it suggests something else.
The biggest curiosity was the presence of urine in the interstitial tissue.
Urine? How odd.
It's called cold diuresis. When the body is trying to preserve warmth, the blood vessels constrict and the kidneys purge all unnecessary fluid.
It results in a large production of urine. When the bladder becomes full, urine has nowhere to go, and so it seeps into the surrounding tissue.
A rash? Hemorrhaging? Cold diuresis? What does this all mean?
In combination, they occur in only one specific instance. This man wasn't poisoned. He died of hypothermia.
Let's go, Timothy. We've wasted enough time here already.
Not so fast, Mr. Irons. Although I no longer believe your son killed Mr. Scorch, he has admitted to intentionally poisoning him.
I told you, it was nothing more than he'd done to me.
A crime, nonetheless.
You have to let him race.
I intend to, as a gesture of goodwill. However, I do need your help, Mr. Irons. Mr. Knox mentioned taking a cold cure. I need you to tell me what that is.
I can do you one better. I'll show you. The cold cure is Coach Kittering's revolutionary after-workout therapy. You fill a wooden barrel with water and ice. After a hard practice, you submerge yourself to your neck for 10 minutes. Afterwards, your body comes out refreshed.
I suppose reducing swelling and muscle damage would aid the body's ability to recover?
Ridiculous. Kittering doesn't know what's what. Cold's no good for muscles. Hot massages are far more effective therapy.
Truly, whenever I get into the cold cure, I feel like I might have a heart attack.
Scratches.
What?
We found splinters under Scorch's fingernails. Someone held him down in the water with this lid. Coach Kittering, a word, please?
Arthur? Oh, there you are. You didn't do it, did you? Arthur! Arthur!
And what exactly was he supposed to do? I mean, if it's any consolation, I can help do whatever needs doing.
You killed him.
What does it look like? I got rid of a problem. You should never have sent a boy to do a man's job. Oh, of course I knew you two were plotting to kill me. Every chance you got, huddled together, whispering so loudly. The deaf man across the street probably knew what you were up to.
If you knew, why didn't you do something?
And miss out on the chance of watching you two bumble about? Oh no, I quite enjoyed the show.
What happened?
I was sitting in the parlor minding my God-given business. I see this fool in the mirror creeping up behind me, gun drawn. I did what I had to do. It was self-defense, sweetheart.
You could have easily overpowered him. You didn't have to kill him.
Why wouldn't I? Why shouldn't I? If he was going to keep trying to get rid of me, then fair game. Now, what to do about you? Do it. never the failure, Violet. Now, what do you suppose we do about poor old Arthur here?
Mr. Kittering, Mr. Scorch died of hypothermia, caused by being held down inside one of your cold cure barrels. The temperature in the barrel today is about 45 degrees. It would have taken approximately 1 hour for Mr. Scorch to lose consciousness and subsequently die.
Yes, well, all right. Perhaps 45 degrees is a tad too cold.
Perhaps this is your moment to be truthful.
I found Scorch dead in the barrel. I didn't know what to do, but I did know that if his death was tied to my cold cure remedy, that would be the end of my therapy, my club, and my career as a coach. So I panicked.
You covered it up.
The sprinters were out on the field playing around with the javelins, and so when they left, I redressed Scorch's body. I put it in the wagon, and I brought it out onto the field.
Once the body was out there, you ran it through with the javelin.
I wanted to make it look like an accident.
To make it appear as though one of the sprinters had done it.
Yes. But I didn't intend any of them to be blamed for it. I was just trying to protect myself. You have to believe me. I didn't kill him. I covered it up, but I didn't kill him. I'm innocent.
Innocent might not be the word I would use, Mr. Kittering.
And the purpose of this, sir?
We need to determine exactly how the victim was held down inside the cold cure barrel. Now kneel down, Henry.
Sir?
Get on with it, Higgins. You're not in any real distress.
That's what you think.
All right. Now, Henry, push up with all of your might. All right. All right. What is that?
What's wrong, Murdoch?
Someone has gotten oil or something on the handle. Smells like mentholated ointment.
Pungent.
Julia used something like this with Susanna when she was ill recently.
Sirs?
Yes, Higgins, you can get out.
No. I came across an ointment like that myself. There was a jar of it in Timothy Iron's locker.
It's a special heated ointment my father makes himself. He uses it when he gives me my race massages.
We found traces of it on the cold cure barrel in the locker room where Mr. Scorch was killed.
I didn't kill him. He was alive when I left the track, and I was with the 100-meter men for the rest of the night. You can ask them.
You could have slipped away unnoticed.
Well, ask my father then. He stayed behind to pack up my things and lock up. I didn't get back till 1 a.m. You finished? I have a race to run.
For now. Mr. Irons is the only person who uses that ointment.
Not quite. There is one other.
Are you sure about this?
We'll see.
What are you doing?
Racing.
You most certainly are not.
Aye. What's all this then?
On Earth.
Miss Roswell, please step back.
No.
Why are you bothering me? I'm here to see my son race.
Mr. Irons, what time did you pack up on Friday evening, and what time did you leave?
Packing up didn't take long. I left shortly after Timothy.
Was there anyone else left at the track?
Not that I saw.
Did you happen to touch the cold cure barrels at any point?
No.
Then how do you explain us finding a smear of your special mentholated ointment on one of the handles?
Gentlemen,
Please escort Miss Roswell from the track.
Again, I ask you, did you have cause to touch the cold cure barrels?
Especially when you said yourself the treatment didn't work.
You keep your hands off her.
Stop, Murdoch! Get off the...
Get off of me!
Much obliged, Miss Roswell.
My pleasure.
Mr. Irons, you are under arrest for murder. Why would you do this? Just so your son could win?
You would snuff out a young athlete in the prime of his career just for a race?
I would do anything for my son.
Including murder?
Timothy was the best until Scorch started poisoning him. That mercury stuff permanently messed him up.
The poison had lasting effects?
After the sabotage, Timothy tried to get back into the swing of things. He never regained his full strength.
Over time, mercury can damage motor skills and cause irreparable lung damage.
The last straw was that shameless cur boasting at the press conference after all he'd done. He was no champion. He was a fraud.
And you are now a murderer.
I suppose we can see what she can do.
On your marks. Get set. And go!
Go, Iggy!
A very fast time for Miss Roswell. Better than some of the men I coach.
And the women?
I have no idea how fast a woman can run.
Well, hopefully you'll find that out one day when we're finally invited to the games.
Then I await that day.
Who was that lady?
Oh, that's Miss Iggy Roswell.
She's so fast.
She certainly is. What's your name?
Myrtle Cook. One day, I'm going to be just like her. You were amazing. I came last. You were still amazing.
I have to say I agree with her.
Well, thank you. I am quite thirsty, though.
Ooh. Really, you should try this.
Is that the baby's drink?
Yes, but it's rich with electrolytes. It'll help you replenish the fluids that you've lost.
Wow, what a thirst quencher. This could really catch on.
Have some more.
So sweet of you to take care of your husband. I'm sure he's resting in peace. Fitting that he's buried where he planned to bury me.
What do you have planned for me?
I guess I'll keep you around.
I could give you all the money. I'll start over.
Oh, no need for all that. All I ask is that you do me one favor. Don't ever try to kill me again. Your prints are all over this. So play nice. You with me. Together we're gonna tear up this town.
want?
What have you done to me?
I didn't do anything.
You liar! You did this to me! Let go!
Are you all right?
Bloody hell, man, what do you think you're doing?
I have to go. There's no more time.
Dear God, he's getting worse. You ready for today?
I am indeed. This is a rare treat.
A gift from Mrs. Hart. And one deserving of the day. Frank Rhodes is finally going to trial.
Yes, and I'm the one who gets to put him away.
Not just you. There's an eyewitness.
Yes, but I'll be delivering the coup de grace. They're still warm.
William, every Monday morning you buy those scones, and every Monday morning I refuse them. You know, I loathe those things.
It's her loss. Well, we will celebrate tonight.
You don't usually relish in an execution.
This time I'm willing to make an exception.
Let's continue. Politics in Canada.
Ah, Murdoch. I'm off to court in an hour. I'm just going through the final details with Mr. Bent.
Hello, Nigel Bent.
Detective?
You're worried.
No.
You all right?
Perhaps a bit jittery. It's not every day you have to face Frank Rhodes.
All you have to do is tell the truth about what you saw.
And that was?
I saw Frank Rhodes choke the life out of Wallace Franklin, the prison guard.
Then I will support your testimony. I will give an account of my associations with Frank Rhodes. I will tell of his misdeeds, his kidnapping of my wife, my daughter, and together we will ensure that...
No. Get away. Leave me alone.
What is it, Mr. Bent?
No, look, get away from me!
Mr. Bent, please.
Bloody hell. What just happened, Murdoch?
I have no idea. Delayed?
Just 24 hours.
They allowed Rhodes that liberty?
I requested it.
You? Why?
Because my key witness is now in the morgue. Mr. Bent's testimony was the linchpin in our case against Frank Rhodes. Now we need time to strategize now that the late Mr. Bent is no longer part of it.
You have Murdoch?
Yes, and his testimony might be enough, but I would rather do due diligence to ensure a conviction. Would you not agree?
The man threatened my wife and child. Do what you have to secure a conviction. One more day shouldn't make a difference.
Gentlemen.
Anything I say now would be speculation.
Well, then speculate.
From outward appearance, he appears to be in good health.
He's dead. So I'd say in this case, outward appearances are most certainly deceiving.
I understand that, and I will be performing a thorough examination once you gentlemen leave me in peace.
Blood tests?
I collected samples. We'll try to figure out what caused such a seizure. How was he acting before he died?
Agitated. I also believe he was experiencing hallucinations.
I see. And how long had that been going on for?
He had been acting funny.
Funny how?
He lost his balance a few times. Started saying he was seeing things.
Was your husband a drinking man?
My husband was teetotal. Believed drink to be the devil's brew.
When did these symptoms begin occurring?
Just yesterday morning. At first, he thought it was nothing.
So just recently, then?
Just over 24 hours ago. I told him to say nothing about this. And you people forced him to...
We asked him to do his duty.
see where that got him.
You have to entertain the possibility that someone did Mr. Bent harm.
Oh, I'm already of that opinion.
Well, at least it couldn't have been Rhodes.
Sir, I wouldn't necessarily think that. We have to consider Frank Rhodes. His reach extends far beyond his prison cell.
Here you are, sir. What have you got there? Names and addresses of Rhodes' most recent associates. Only a couple in Toronto.
We have to consider Rhodes, sir, behind bars or not.
Bring him in.
We've only found one so far, sir. Anderson and McNabb are looking for the others.
Learning to delegate, are you, Higgins?
Just laziness, sir. Here you are, sir. Sorry, sir. Butterfingers.
Trial is delayed?
Just until tomorrow or the next day at the latest.
How did the man die?
I'm hoping Mrs. Hart can provide those answers.
What do you think?
He may have ingested a foreign substance.
Poisoning?
Perhaps.
Well, it's a good thing we still have you to put him away.
It's reassuring to know I'm not the only one interested in vengeance.
He threatened Susanna, William. That alone has exhausted my capacity for mercy.
Nigel Bent. Can't say I met the fella. Who is he? Currently a possible murder victim. Well, I don't know anything about that. But why would I have an issue with someone I don't even know?
Money? Revenge? Fear? Which one of those?
It could be anyone, I suppose. If I knew the man.
But you do know Frank Rhodes.
Frank Rhodes? Frank Rhodes, no. Don't act stupid. You two were arrested together years ago. Oh, him. I haven't talked to Frank in years. Not since he went screwy.
What does that mean?
Ain't been the same since the Black Hand turned their back on him. And let me tell you, if Frank's on the bad side of the Black Hand, I don't want to have anything to do with him. Dead man walking.
So you had nothing to do with Nigel Bent?
Already said as much.
Right.
You all right?
Yes, fine.
There's a good chance that Frank Rhodes could walk away from this, seeing that we've lost our eyewitness.
I'll get him. I have more than enough information on the many crimes that make up Frank Rhodes' life.
None as good as Nigel Bent.
But enough. I'll see to it he ends up where he belongs. Julia, what are you doing here?
I called her.
Why?
You dropped a file. You almost fell to the ground in the interview room. I thought the good doctor should take a look at you.
That's ridiculous. I'm fine.
William, it will only take a moment.
I don't have a moment. I need to find all of the files on Frank Rhodes' crimes and misdemeanors.
Well, you can lead a horse to water.
Keep an eye on him. If you notice anything else, let me know. Men and doctors. Any progress?
None. No traces of any known agents so far.
So an unknown compound?
Or one that's yet to be identified. Must be lethal if the man's wife is to be believed. From first symptom to death in just over 24 hours.
So you have reason to not believe her?
Excuse me?
Well, so you think she's lying?
It was just a figure of speech. I apologize.
No, I didn't mean to be short. There's just something about this that's making me feel uneasy. William may be experiencing symptoms.
I see. Well, we should get to the bottom of it then.
Yes. How can I help?
You're not gonna get me. I'm invincible.
No, you're not. I'm going to see you hang.
You'll be well dead before that happens.
No, I won't. You're going to pay, Rhodes.
Not as much as you will.
What have you done to me? What have you...
Sir.
What is it, Higgins?
Look at the detective.
Is Dr. Ogden?
Sir.
It's nothing.
That's what you said last time.
I saw you. You were talking to the fairies.
Your temperature's very high, and your heart rate is elevated. How long have you been feeling this way?
I'm not feeling like anything.
William, will you stop lying to me? This could be a very serious situation.
And if it is, I know the source of it.
Stand down, Murdoch.
You can try and stop me.
I have to go to the morgue. I have to find out what's happening to him.
Sir, is Detective Murdoch all right?
He's fine.
Didn't look fine to me.
If I want your opinion, I'll ask for it. Now get me a list of all Frank Rhodes' recent associates.
I already did, sir.
We'll find more. Henry, today's not the day for laziness. Murdoch just might be in real trouble here.
Watch where you're going! Did you see that? What do you think you're doing? What is happening to me?
You've almost exhausted all of the natural toxins.
So, man-made.
Good possibility. Don't worry, we will get to the bottom of this.
Well, undoubtedly. But what is in doubt is whether we find out what killed this man soon enough to help William.
Hey, look who's here. You're the one who put me in here, damn you!
We meet again.
Mr. Rhodes.
Come to say goodbye. Well, perhaps that won't happen. I heard your key witness is met with unfortunate circumstances.
You heard about that, did you?
Things like that get around. I must say, you're looking a little worse for wear. Little one keeping you up. Never a good idea to have a child at your advanced age.
Nothing.
Well, it's certainly not nothing. Something killed Mr. Bent.
Perhaps it was a stroke or a brain hemorrhage.
I think it's time to get the saw.
Well, I certainly have no insight into what is troubling you. But I do hope it passes. By any chance, are you a traveling man?
What does that have to do with anything?
This modern world. People traveling hither and yon. Pick up all sorts of nasty ailments.
This is more than just a nasty ailment.
That's too bad.
What did you do to me, Rhodes?
And who really must haunt your dreams.
Hardly.
What could I possibly do? I've been in here 6 months with nothing but my conscience for a companion.
Your conscience?
I do have one, you know.
If it wasn't you, it was one of your friends.
I've got no friends. Not one single visitor since I've been in here. Tell you, now that I'm facing the end, it has really made me consider some of the decisions I've made in my life.
I don't care about your decisions, Rhodes. What did you do to me?
And I told you, I've done nothing. As I said, look where I am. And this is the only place I've been for months. Perhaps what is affecting your body is also affecting your judgment.
There's nothing wrong with my judgment.
That's so. Well, perhaps it was something you made. You know, sometimes we try something unfamiliar and the body acts up.
You ready for today?
I am indeed. This is a rare treat.
A gift from Mrs. Hart.
I touch a nerve?
If you harmed my wife.
As I said, I have harmed nobody.
I'm going to watch you hang.
Such parting words. Nice talking to you. You don't know how much I appreciate having a visitor.
I'll see you in court.
Sure. God willing.
You don't have long, do you?
Who are you?
Must be strange for you now that the shoe is on the other foot.
What are you talking about?
You sent so many to their grave.
All deserving.
In your eyes, I'm not sure they see it that way. But I suppose you'll find out soon enough.
Who are you?
I speak for those who want you dead.
Wait. I asked you a question.
Excuse me, sir.
You were speaking to me.
I were not. I never said a word.
I heard you.
I didn't say a thing. Please, sir, let me go.
I'm sorry.
There appears to be no damage to the cerebellum.
But his motor skills were affected.
So we can rule that out as the cause.
And there's no damage to the medial frontal cortex.
So not the reason for the delusions.
Well, it seems Mr. Bent is the owner of a perfectly healthy brain.
Well, something killed him. We just don't know what it was.
I'm sorry to say that appears to be the case.
Where are you going?
I have to find William. If we can find nothing of the agent that killed Mr. Bent, then perhaps William is my better bet. I have to examine him.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Those two there. I know at one time Rhodes was associated with the woman, Betsy Ward. She used to be his sweetheart. Who's the big fella? I don't know. Sir, do you need me?
Just keep beating the bushes, Higgins. Oh, and get McNabb and Anderson to check out Mr. Bent's past.
There's a chance that Murdoch's barking up the wrong tree on this one.
You think that's possible?
Just do what you're told, Haynes.
Mind if I join you?
Did we say yes?
It wouldn't matter if you did or you didn't.
What do you want?
A couple of answers about Frank Rhodes.
Don't know who you're talking about.
You were his piece of fluff once upon a time, weren't you?
And what business is that of yours?
I'm the one asking the questions.
I knew Frank for a time, yes.
And?
Let's just say I'm happy to know he's behind bars.
She's with me now.
Huh. Lucky fella.
Watch it.
Oh, what? I'll tell you what. Why don't we step outside for 5 minutes and play with the traffic? I need a private word with the lady.
It's all right, Cal. So what do you want to know about Frank?
Do you ever visit him in jail?
Of course not. Haven't seen Frank in years. Although I am looking forward to his trial. I hope he hangs.
A woman scorned.
More like a woman who dodged a bullet. I know what happens to people who get on Frank's bad side.
So you don't do his bidding anymore?
Certainly not.
How did you meet Frank?
Years ago, he did a job for a man I worked for.
And this man, do you have a name?
Benedict Evers. He's a chemist. Ran an apothecary near Church Street. I did his bills.
And what kind of job did Frank do for you?
I learned well enough never to ask Frank what he was up to. But I will tell you, when I first started working for Mr. Evers, he was a married man. And when I finished, he was a widower. And none too bothered about that.
What do you want?
What have you done to me?
I didn't do anything.
You liar! You did this to me!
What are you doing? Are you all right?
Bloody hell, Mom, what do you think you're doing? I have to go. There's no more time.
Dear God, he's getting worse. Are you sure you're all right?
I'm fine. He thinks I had something to do with this.
William isn't in his right mind at the moment.
What did I do?
I believe he thinks you poisoned his orange juice.
That's ridiculous.
Is it?
Don't insult me, Inspector. The detective has long suspected me of crimes I did not commit. This appears to be the latest.
Where did you purchase it?
Arthur has an exotic fruit supplier, and I acquired some. It was meant to be a gift, not a murder weapon.
I'll send a constable to retrieve what's left of the orange juice from your home.
That is ridiculous. I had nothing to do with this.
I didn't say that. It may have been tampered with without your knowledge.
Actually, it couldn't have been the orange juice. I likely drank more of it than William did. Apologies, Mrs. Hart.
I may have something.
What is it?
Rhodes was friendly with a woman who used to work for a chemist.
Does this chemist have a name?
Benedict Evers. Now, if the woman I talked to is to be believed, he hired Frank Rhodes to kill his wife.
I see. So he could be involved somehow?
I'll do my best to find this Mr. Evers.
Hello, I need you to connect me to a number.
Detective, you don't look well.
I need to talk to you.
That's why I'm here. Beat it. So, what is so important that you called me?
What can you tell me about Frank Rhodes?
I know he betrayed the Black Hand. So as far as we're concerned, he's dead to us.
He will be soon enough.
We would have been happy to have done that for you.
How many people has he killed for you?
Detective.
Has he ever used poison?
I wouldn't know. But poison? That don't seem like Frank's style, no, too clean. Wait a minute. You told me that's what's happening to you? He's this poor sap.
I didn't say that.
You don't have to, I can see it in your eyes.
If Rhodes did this, he would have needed help.
Nah, I told you, Detective. No one in our organization has anything to do with Rhodes anymore. And we have no disagreement with you.
Then please, if you know anything, who on the outside could be helping him?
You said it. You think it was poison? There was one man.
What are you doing? It's the middle of the night.
I need to talk to the owner.
He hasn't been here in weeks. I think he shut the place down.
And he's left all his worldly goods there?
Appears so. Bright boy.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Get yourself down here right now.
So? What else do you want?
Where's Evers now?
How'd I know?
Well, you know when he cleared out, so it stands to reason that you know where he went.
I didn't care to be close to him.
Why not?
He became a bit of a nutter after his wife died.
What does that mean?
Just wasn't the same man. I'd see him out, carousing. Store hardly ever open.
He lost his wife.
Yeah, I suppose, but there was a cloud over him.
Oh, you ever seen this fella around here?
Matter of fact, I have, once or twice.
Did he do business with Evers?
I don't know what he did with Evers, but I did see him around. Is that one of your men?
Look, I've done with you for now. What the devil are you doing here, Murdoch?
Sir, the owner of this establishment is an associate of Frank Rhodes.
That may be, but he's long gone.
Right, I have to...
You need to go home, Murdoch. That's an order. Come on, let me point you in the right direction. It's on my way.
William? William?
I just wanted some time with her. Just a few more moments. Julia, I want you to know that no matter what happens, I'll die a happy man.
Well, I have no intention of living as an unhappy woman, so you stay here.
Well, please stay with me.
No. I'm going to do what I can to keep you alive.
You are going to grow up to be strong
and brilliant, just like your mother.
Oi! That's it, boys!
You're too late. Your detective's already a dead man.
Please stop! I'll stop when I get an answer.
Doctor, perhaps you should...
I'm fine. Let the inspector do what he needs to do.
It won't be long now, William. Are you ready? No one ever is. But death waits for no one.
What did he say?
He worked at a bakery. He poisoned Murdoch's scone.
With what?
He doesn't know.
And who ordered him to do that?
Rhodes.
Dr. Ogden.
See if you can find out what this is contaminated with, and please, hurry.
I'll do my best.
You'll do better than that, Mrs. Hart. You'll find out what's in there. My husband's life lies in the balance.
What are you doing?
Hopefully persuading someone to tell the truth.
The man you're looking for is Benedict Evers, who until recently operated a pharmacy on Church Street. He's familiar with this man, who worked in a bakery on Queen Street. I also need you to find this man and find him quickly. Do whatever it takes to make this happen. Understood? Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, look what just came in. Oh, hey, gorgeous. Oh, come here. Oh, come closer, love. Come closer. Oh, come on. You're gorgeous. Oh, oh, where you going, sweetheart?
Ah, the good doctor. I've been expecting your visit.
I'm sure you have.
So, now that you're here, what can I do for you?
I don't want my husband to die.
Well, then you are not like most wives I've met. But I'm not sure that I can help you with that.
Mr. Rhodes, I'm desperate.
How desperate?
I'll do whatever you want. What did you give him?
Nothing. Look at me. Look at where I am.
Please, Mr. Rhodes. I don't want him to die.
We all die, Doctor. You should know that better than most. Is it not true? Death has surrounded you most of your life?
What do you want?
Like your husband. I don't believe I'm ready for the end.
What did you give him?
Does that matter?
Of course it does.
What if I were to tell you I have the cure?
What do you want for it?
Freedom.
I can give you that.
What have you done?
You have less than half an hour. But this will save you.
Oh, you wouldn't commit a murder.
To save my husband, I would do anything.
I'm not sure, sir. We're still looking.
I know.
What else can we do?
I don't know.
You're a doctor. You wouldn't let me die. Isn't it some kind of oath?
I'll make an exception.
You don't have it in you.
I am a wife and a mother. And let me tell you, Mr. Rhodes, you wouldn't be the first man I killed.
I'm not sure that I believe you on that.
Mr. Rhodes, tell me, are you starting to feel constriction in your chest? You should be about now.
Guard! Guard!
There is no one here but you and me. Understand me, Mr. Rhodes. If you face a judge, there's a chance you could escape with your life. But that is not an option you have with me.
I can give you an address for the man who supplied the poison.
I'm to believe there's an antidote?
There is. I've used it before.
Give it to me.
Elmwood Arms, room 104. There you'll find Benedict Evers.
Good.
Hey! Hey! We had a deal.
Mr. Rhodes, I am true to my oath. I gave you a mild paralytic. It should be fine in a few hours.
When we're in position, wait for my signal.
You don't need to be here, Julia.
Stop me.
That you, Williams? You have the rest of my money?
No, it's not Williams. You get over there. Young lady, get out. Go, go on.
What's this about?
Where's the antidote?
An antidote? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't have time for this. The antidote now, or you're a dead man.
Goodbye, Susanna. You'll live in a much better world than mine. And your mother's going to raise you to be whoever you want.
It's time, William.
Can I have just one more moment?
I'm sorry. You lived a good life. Better than most.
I did.
But all things come to an end.
It's not time.
Julia.
William, it's all right. Everything's going to be all right.
Thank you, Detective Murdoch. I'm sure this was very trying.
I'm feeling better by the hour.
You have a most resourceful wife.
What about the chemist?
He's currently facing 2 charges, although he is complaining about brutality. You put a very dangerous man away, Detective. We are all very much in your debt.
It's not my debt you're in, it's Julia's.
Frank Rhodes has issued a complaint against her.
Well, has he now? Well, I'm more than prepared.
Well, nothing will be required of you, Dr. Ogden. The matter is quite closed. Frank Rhodes' execution is scheduled for today.
That was fast.
I don't believe Frank Rhodes deserves another day above the soil. Do you?
With your permission, sir, I'd like to spend the next day or two at home.
Of course. You've both earned it. Get some rest.
Hello, Frank. It is finally time.
Where is it, Rankins?
Where's what?
The parcel. Where is it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Give us the parcel, Rankins.
You've got the wrong guy. I'm not Rankins.
Should I cut him, Johnny?
What are you telling him my name for?
Oh, I'm not. I'm gonna cut him.
Don't cut me!
Then give us the parcel.
I don't have the parcel.
Should I cut him? I'll cut him.
Get us the parcel by noon tomorrow. Else otherwise.
Fine, yes, good.
Tomorrow noon. The alley behind the old Gopnik shipyard. If we don't get the parcel, we will spend every moment of every day for the rest of our lives hunting you down until you're dead. Let's go.
Let me cut it.
Why do you always want to cut people?
What?
What?
Henry,
Who is it?
what are you doing here?
I need your help. I've done a very bad thing.
Perfect.
William? What are you doing?
Julia, I believe I've solved our problem.
Oh, what problem?
Yesterday at the park, I turned my back on Susanna for the briefest of moments. She crawled away and was nearly struck by a boy on a tricycle. In the blink of an eye, anything could happen. So, I have invented the all-purpose baby tether.
It's a leash.
It's a tether for her safety. You see, even here at home, it could keep her from reaching the stove or something in my workshop.
William, it's a leash.
We need to allow her to practice her crawling without putting herself in harm's way. Hence, the tether.
Leash.
I'm off to work. I'll see you at dinner time.
For heaven's sake.
Oh, come here. Oh. I have an idea. Let's do something dangerous.
Where is everyone, Murdoch?
Well, George is still on his honeymoon. Henry called in sick, and Evans and Langston are taking care of a traffic block. A horse has sat on an automobile.
Well, let's hope something doesn't fall in your lap, or you'll be stuck with me.
Detective Murdoch?
I take it we'll be spending the day together.
Yes, of course. I'll be right there.
A few months ago, I started using my auto to deliver packages.
You're a courier?
Yes, but my telephone number ended up in the hands of some unsavory people. They offered to pay me double my fee. The implication was that I wouldn't ask any questions.
So these people were likely criminals and the packages likely contained illicit goods.
What's the difference? So I didn't look inside their packages. I don't look inside anyone else's packages either.
Plausible deniability may help you sleep better at night, but it is hardly a substitute for morality.
The point is, these are dangerous men. And they're after me.
So, inform the inspector.
The inspector swore he'd fire me if he ever caught me working a second job again.
I would be more concerned about being arrested for criminal conspiracy.
That's why I need your help to get it back.
Get what back?
The parcel. See, a couple of nights ago, I got a call. I went to pick up a delivery from a man named Rankins. He didn't give me a name, just an address on Tyndall Avenue. When I got there, someone was being arrested.
Who was it?
The man I was delivering the parcel to. It had to be.
Did you stop?
I didn't want to get mixed up in whatever was going on. So I went back to the corner where I picked up the parcel, but there was no sign of Rankins. I looked him up in the city directory, but no luck. So I went home.
And where's the parcel?
I was about to throw it out, but well, someone was paying me a good fee to deliver it, so it had to be valuable. I figured, as long as I'm going to toss it out anyways, why not take it to a pawn shop?
Severing once and for all your thin tether to morality.
I didn't set out to do anything wrong. I just did whatever seemed all right in the moment.
Oof. So, these two men, one with a knife, are seeking a statuette of a horse.
Yes.
So take your pawn ticket back to the pawn shop.
I didn't pawn it, I sold it. And I only got $2 for it, but now it's gone. And that old pawnbroker won't tell me who he sold it to. I need your help, Watts. We have to find that horse.
I left the constabulary, Henry. I'm no longer an investigator.
What? Watts, if I don't find that statuette, they'll kill me. Please, I need your help.
Single gunshot wound at close range. No identification. But there's this.
What's in it?
Looks to be 5 crisp $100 bills.
Crikey. So this fella's walking around with a small fortune on him. Someone gets wind of it and tries to rob him. They have an altercation, he ends up dead.
But they didn't take the money.
You can't exactly spend a bill with a bullet hole through it, Murdoch.
Unlucky shot.
For both of them.
Sign says back in 5 minutes.
Stop that.
Stop what?
That whistling. It's annoying.
Didn't realize I was. That melody's been stuck in my ear all week.
There he is.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
I'll tell him I'm a detective and the statuette was left behind at the scene of a robbery. He, ergo, is a suspect.
That's good. That's good. What?
So suspicion falls to you, unless you are able to exonerate yourself by telling me who else may have been in possession of said statuette.
You know, I'll bet you dollars to donuts it was that pie-faced Charlie who was in here just this morning.
This man purchased the statuette?
Yeah, no. He's the one who sold it to me. But then he came back later looking for it. Real daft type. It's got to be him. I mean, the woman who bought it, she wouldn't be involved in a crime.
Woman. Witness saw a woman near the scene of the crime. Describe her for me.
Classy. All over. There's a fat chance she did anything criminal.
Nevertheless, describe her. Due diligence and et cetera.
Listen, Pally, it ain't her. I mean, here, she even paid me with this fancy check. She's not the criminal type.
If I could have a look at that.
What'd you say your name was?
Detective Milch.
What?
If I could take just a quick look.
Okay, pal, let me see your badge.
How much for this?
What? Hey, wait, come back here! Wait!
Run!
Hey, wait! Come back here, you middle... Lady, watch where you're going!
Having fun, Susanna? I told you it would be dangerous.
This way! Curse us!
Oh,
Good God, I'm a criminal. I can't believe I did that. Pencil.
Give me that. Look, it's for $20. I knew he ripped me off.
That hardly matters at this juncture. We now know the buyer is B. Vermont. We have an address in Rosedale.
Let's go. My auto's just around the corner.
A moment.
What are you doing?
Righting a wrong.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Sending this back to the pawn shop. Thank you for seeing us, Mrs. Vermont.
What can I do for you, gentlemen?
We are private investigators with the Pinkerton Agency. Our client has hired us to locate an item, a golden statuette of a horse. We understand you may have purchased it?
Yes, that's right.
Our client seeks its return. He sold it accidentally.
For a pittance.
It holds great sentimental value.
Well, I'm afraid it holds the same for me. You see, my late husband kept racehorses. The statuette reminded me of his favorite maiden. To me, it is priceless. I shall keep it on the mantle in Benjamin's study until the day I die. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a funeral to plan.
Of course. Thank you for your time.
No.
One, please.
She has it. Let's go get it back.
I recognized her husband, the man in the oil painting. His surname somehow eluded me, but he's been in the papers every day. Here, look.
Arrest made in Vermont murder.
It says the culprit is Nathan Fine of Tyndall Avenue in Parkdale.
That's where I was making the delivery. This guy must have sent those men after the horse.
The article describes him as a bookmaker and violent criminal.
And this violent criminal's friends are going to kill me. Watts, we have to break into that mansion and steal back that statuette.
I will be doing no such thing.
We've already been lying. If we're only breaking the law to do something good, namely saving my life, then isn't that kind of better? You know, overall?
Sometimes the greater of two evils is inaction, but in this instance, my boundary is firm. Plus, it remains unclear what Mrs. Vermont's interest is in all this.
And I'll do it myself.
There's no talking you out of it?
No.
Right. I noticed the house was not in model repair. The gate at the end of the hedge was ajar, and one of the windows in the parlor has a broken latch.
So?
I'll draw you a diagram.
Single gunshot wound, close range.
Any signs of a struggle? Any other injuries?
No.
Nothing unusual at all, then?
Just this. His fingers.
Discolored?
Dark spots. I believe I've seen this before. This is the result of contact with silver nitrate.
Silver nitrate? What's that?
It's a chemical commonly found in dark rooms. This man was a photographer.
Mr. Hawley, have you seen my eyeglasses?
I'll check the parlor.
Scott, never mind. They're on a chain round my neck.
I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man.
I question the wisdom of you taking it. Its absence might be noticed.
I was hoping I could glue the pieces back together.
The men awaiting its return may notice that.
They said they would hunt me until I was dead. I can't die. If I died, then what?
That is humanity's ultimate question, is it not? But while you ponder that, have you noticed the man behind us?
What man?
Don't look. He's been following us.
Are you sure?
No, but certainty is a rare thing. This way. Keep moving. We'll go to Queen and get on a streetcar to see if he follows.
What? What? Look, that's our window. Come on. It's a miracle.
Henry, I'm not sure this is the cure-all you think it is.
They're identical. Those men will never know the difference.
If the statuette is worth 6 cents, why did someone pay you a healthy fee to deliver it to a career criminal under cover of darkness?
I don't know.
Clearly, the statuette itself is not what those men are after.
They asked for the parcel, I'll give them the parcel. Problem solved.
Here's the key, Rankins.
What key? You wanted the parcel? This is it.
Enough. Cut him.
I don't have any key. I'm not Rankins.
Say one more thing we don't want to hear, Rankins. Just one more.
Should I really cut him?
Yes.
Then the whole neck or just a little cut?
He doesn't have it. Got him.
Wait. I have it. I have the key.
Well, then hand it over. Or else you're a dead man.
No, I'm not a dead man. I'm Rankins, and I'm your only hope. Do you really think Mr. Fine will be happy when you tell him that I'm dead and the key is lost forever?
Who said we work for Fine?
If you want the key, you pay double. You meet me back here at 6 p.m. with the money, or the key goes into Lake Ontario.
Aren't you mad? You only give yourself 6 hours?
Well, it had to be believable.
We don't even know what the key is for, to say nothing of where it is.
We know exactly where it is. Mrs. Vermont broke the statuette. Obviously, the key was inside.
And since Mrs. Vermont had the original figurine, she must have the key. Your logic is flawless, Henry. I apologize if my tone is one of surprise, but it reflects my feelings. Don't look! The man is back. Where? I said don't look.
I need to know where not to look.
Behind you. And now you can look. He's coming right for us.
Gentlemen, I beg your pardon. My name is Mr. Hawley. I'm here to extend you an invitation.
To what?
To a meeting with my employer, Mrs. Vermont.
They're closed.
They usually open at noon.
Ah, Detective. Sorry I'm late. I think I have everything.
Oh, very well.
Would you like to come in?
That won't be necessary.
Is something the matter? We need to know if you recognize this man. Oh, heavenly Jesus, and there's a possible... Sorry, I've never seen a dead man before. Right. Sorry about that. That's Mr. Cohn. Whatever's happened to him.
Perhaps we'll spare you the details.
Yes, quite right. What can you tell us about him? He was a regular customer, a real enthusiast. He always developed his own photographs. Up to something illicit? Peeping Tom, maybe?
Perhaps, sir. Can you tell us anything else about him?
He lived in that building on Duchess and Beverly, I believe.
Right. Thank you very much.
I apologize if Mr. Hawley was brass with you gentlemen, but it was important that I speak to you immediately. I'm afraid I wasn't entirely honest with you earlier. The statuette you inquired about meant nothing to me.
You only wanted what was inside.
You are clever. So I asked you, and you found what you were looking for.
You have what we're looking for.
I'm afraid I do not. Shall we speak plainly, gentlemen?
Yes, please.
The key was not in the maiden.
We're no closer to finding the key, but this changes our aim. We can't deliver the key to Mr. Fine's men.
Why not?
Because he will destroy the evidence and go free.
So?
That is an affront to justice.
As soon as we find that key, I'm giving it to the people who will kill me if I don't. End of story.
Oh, I've stepped in sick. Oh, Henry, I find your position on the matter of justice abhorrent. That you are a police constable makes it all the more troubling. But seeing as we have no idea where the key is, the point is entirely academic.
Rankins must have it.
Oh.
Think about it. If Rankins is the guy who had the evidence, maybe he's the one who made the anonymous phone call to Mrs. Vermont. It's playing two customers against one another. Maybe he agreed to sell it to Fine, but decided to hold out for more money. I'll bet you anything he never put the key in that figurine.
Which scarcely helps you. Rankins is a ghost.
We have to try. We can go back to where he gave me the parcel. Maybe there'll be some sign of him.
You there. How much for one shoe?
15 cents.
For a pair. How much for one shoe?
Why do you want one shoe shined?
Only one shoe is dirty?
One shoe is two shoes.
It is not.
Shoe shine's a shoe shine, friend. It's one thing.
Can we get going?
Fine. Make it quick. Oh.
Here it is. This is where he gave me the parcel.
I don't see anything of interest.
Maybe he lives in one of these apartments, or someone knows him at least.
Here we are. Duchess and Beverly.
This must be Mr. Cohen's building.
Aha! See? That tune sticks in your ear, you'll be whistling it all week.
God, you're right. If you catch me whistling again, you can smack me. Come on.
Wait. It's the pawnbroker. We can't let him see us.
Hey, you! Stop! 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 Come back! Stop! Stop! Come back!
Should we look into that?
I'm sure it's nothing. Come on, Mel. Hey! I just want my check!
Did we lose him?
He didn't stand a chance.
I almost killed someone.
Henry? What's this?
The box from the statuette.
Which one?
The one Rankins gave me. I took the statuette out before I sold it.
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Curious.
Oh my God, I'm not gonna die! I have to give this to those men, Watts.
If you do, a notorious murderer, Mr. Fine, will go free.
I don't. They'll kill me.
The parcel was entrusted to you. The key was in the parcel. It's yours to do with as you see fit. But you engaged me, which led to me learning the facts of the situation. My knowledge of these facts demands I inform the police.
Your knowledge doesn't demand anything.
It does. If I wish to lead an ethical life.
Who cares about that? If I don't show up with this key, or if those men think that I told the police, they'll kill me. What? I have a wife and a daughter at home.
We open the locker ourselves. We ascertain that the evidence is relevant. If it is, we photograph it. You deliver the key to the men who want you dead, and I deliver a facsimile of the evidence to the police anonymously after enough time has passed that the men will no longer suspect your involvement.
Fine.
Excelsior. Excelsior. Fine strands of wood used for packaging delicate goods.
I know what it is. How on earth do you know what it's called?
That's common.
A lot of photographs. It doesn't appear that Mr. Cohn's a peeping Tom.
Private investigator.
Ah. So which one of his cases got him killed? Aye, aye. I know that fella.
Oh, I think I do as well. The bookmaker.
That's right, fine.
I heard he was arrested for possibly murdering the wealthy racehorse owner.
Murdoch. Blood.
Sir, these photographs are numbered. 112, 126.
So there's 13 missing.
Well, perhaps the photos in between depict Mr. Fine murdering someone.
So Cohn took the photos, offered to sell them to Fine. He pays $500 and keeps the photos.
And then kills Mr. Cohn to ensure no one ever finds out the truth.
I think we've just found our killer, Murdoch.
Stop. What? There's a man sitting to our left reading a newspaper. There's another man sitting to our right reading a newspaper. They're both reading yesterday's papers.
They must be watching the locker.
Or it's just a coincidence.
What do we do?
I have an idea. You'll be from Cincinnati, I'll be from Vienna.
Ach, mein Gott!
Moment of your time, friend.
Hey, get your hands off the... Hey!
Easy now, easy.
What's going on?
Let's go.
Hello. Hey! Where are we going? I'm from Cincinnati.
Get in here.
Hey. Follow that automobile. Do it quickly.
I already talked to you people.
You people?
Coppers. You don't respect me. I don't respect you. Luckily, I don't need you. All you've got is some anonymous tip with no evidence. My lawyer's gonna get me out of here by the end of the day.
Mr. Fine, you are being detained regarding the murder of Benjamin Vermont. I'm here regarding another dead man, Milton Cohn.
Never heard of him.
He was found murdered down by River Street earlier this morning.
Oh. Well, you know what? I'll send his widow some flowers.
He had $500 tucked into his jacket.
She can buy her own flowers.
A withdrawal was made from your account at the Dominion Bank for $500 cash just this week.
What can I tell you?
It's quite a coincidence, don't you think?
Sometimes things mean something. Sometimes they don't.
Mr. Fine, I believe you killed Mr. Cohn because of something he knew about Mr. Vermont's murder.
I'm tired of this. You want the truth about Vermont? Find Rankins.
What do we do with him now?
Just leave him in there.
What now?
We wait for the boss. And here we are.
This is what was in the locker?
That's right.
Fetch the gasoline and start a fire, will you?
What about him?
Make it a big fire. What is this? There's nothing in here.
This is the guy. That's what was in the locker.
Which locker?
The locker. Shep, the key.
145. It's the wrong locker! Get back to the railway station at once. Let's go!
What do we do with him?
What do you think?
Leave him here?
He could go to the police.
So we have to do something about him.
Yeah.
Maybe we tell him not to go to the police?
I'm not much for conversation.
What was that?
There!
Run!
Mrs. Vermont was set on destroying the evidence that is in that locker. We can safely say she is not a grieving widow seeking to convict her husband's murderer.
Do you think she killed him herself?
Oh, most certainly. Which means Mr. Fine is innocent.
See? I should have just given the key to his men in the first place, and this would all be over.
And we wouldn't have nearly been shot dead in the alley.
Now what do we do?
This is a good question. Let us entertain the scenarios available to us. Scenario 1. We return to the station in an attempt to retrieve the evidence from the locker. The men with yesterday's newspapers see us, recognize us, kidnap us, and take the key. Mrs. Vermont destroys the evidence and goes unpunished for the murder of her husband.
They'll also kill us.
Yes, I lied at that part. We will surely be killed. Scenario 2. You deliver the key to Mr. Fine's men. They take it to the station where the men with yesterday's newspapers see them. If Fine's men come out alive, they will likely believe you led them into this trap and thereafter seek to kill you. If they don't come out alive, Mr. Fine himself will have to think that Rankins, you, was in league with Mrs. Vermont and led his men to their deaths. Whatever the outcome, you will likely be killed. Scenario 3. We deliver the key to Mrs. Vermont. She goes free, and Mr. Fine's men seek you out and kill you. Scenario 4. You mail the key to Detective Murdoch with a note explaining its relevance. He takes it to the station where the men with yesterday's newspapers see him and alert Mrs. Vermont, allowing her a chance to flee. Meanwhile, Mr. Fine's men seek you out and kill you.
None of these scenarios sound good.
There remains scenario 5, in which you deliver the key to the detective and the inspector in person. You explain everything. They deploy constables to protect you indefinitely while they retrieve the evidence and attempt to prosecute Mrs. Vermont, her men, and perhaps even Mr. Fine's men who did,
what the hell?
after all, assault you.
And the inspector learns everything. You go to jail. I'll lose my job.
But not your life.
You don't understand. I wasn't delivering parcels because I wanted the money. I needed it. Our house was a gift from Rupert and Lucinda, but we can't afford it. If I lose my job, we'll be out in less than a month.
As imperfect as it may be, it's the only scenario that results in anything other than you or both of us getting killed.
I can't face the inspector. You do it.
I'd very much rather not. It's your predicament.
And one I would have been out of if your stupid morals hadn't have stopped me from giving the key to this man as soon as we found it.
We never would have found the key if I hadn't stolen the check from the pawnbroker whose ire caused me to topple arse over tip into your automobile.
Heads, it's me. Tails, it's you.
Mr. Fine claims he doesn't know Mr. Cohn and that the $500 is just a coincidence.
And Decker at Station House 1 is about to let him go.
It seems that without the missing photographs, they don't have enough evidence to convict him.
Fine didn't give you anything?
All he said was that the answer lies with a man named Rankins.
Rankins? Who's Rankins?
I have no idea.
What is it, Higgins? Brackenreed. Oh, just a sec, Doctor. It's the missus.
Hello?
Thought you were off sick.
I was, sir. I'm feeling much better now.
Well, get back to work then.
Right away.
All right. I'll see you then.
Everything all right on the home front?
Oh, yes. Julia just needs me to bring home a lens for our slide projector.
What for?
Once again, I'm at a loss.
Couldn't go through with it?
Hear me out. Detective Murdoch is investigating the death of a PI named Milton Cohn. But I saw his photo. Cohn is Rankins.
The man who gave you the parcel.
Precisely. Rankins must be his alias. Fine told Detective Murdoch that Rankins is the key to the case, but he has no idea that Cohn and Rankins are one and the same.
So what?
So it gave me an idea. Scenario 6. The timing will have to be perfect. We lure all the players together at exactly the same time. Mrs. Vermont thinks she's getting just what she wants, but instead, she gets caught red-handed.
Murdoch, there's a letter for you. Look who it's from.
Rankins? What on earth? Go to this locker at Parkdale Station and wait. The killer will appear at 6 p.m.
What locker?
In truth, Mrs. Vermont, my client was not a disinterested party. He presented himself to me as a clumsy delivery boy who had lost something of great value. In fact, he was a rat. He pretended to have lost the key in order to sell it to Nathan Fine at an inflated price. When I discovered the truth, I brought it to you.
You trust me?
I trust you will pay me what you promised. Double Mr. Fine's best price.
A promise is a promise.
Sorry I'm late, but I have something for you.
Sis, we don't want our money back.
We want the key, Rankins.
You'll get a refund, and the key will end up right where you want it to. And you have to do one last thing.
Nothing.
A ruse?
How dare you!
Come off! These men have concealed weapons. Is that right?
What's going on? We didn't do a thing.
What's in your pocket?
My handkerchief?
Oh, yeah. What's this then? Search him, constables.
Excuse me, miss.
I'm afraid I haven't the time.
I'm afraid you aren't going anywhere. I'd like to see what's inside of this envelope and inform you that you are a suspect in the murder of Benjamin Vermont.
I was having a liaison with Mr. Fine. I met him when he approached Benny about fixing a race. And Benny refused, of course. There's something wrong with me, Detective. I crave excitement. And Mr. Fine was so exciting. But Benny began to get suspicious. I think he hired the private investigator who took these photos. That night, Nathaniel and I met. Benny was supposed to be traveling to Rochester, but he missed the boat, and when he found us together, he was furious. He was out of his mind. Nathan fled, but it was me that Benny was angry with. He hit me. Again and again. I had no choice but to pull the trigger. What are those?
The bullets proved it was the same gun used to kill her husband and the PI.
Even if her story of killing Mr. Vermont in self-defense were true, she still murdered Mr. Cohn.
She's dead to rights.
That just leaves the identity and the role of Rankins.
I doubt he's important. Higgins, where have you been?
I was chasing a thief.
Where is he?
He got away.
Bloody hell. I've half a mind to fire you.
What will you do with it?
I'm considering keeping it.
You lied to her and got her arrested. Doesn't seem very moral to keep her money.
I've been reflecting on this, Henry. Morality is not a constant. Principles are not immutable. Do you know who I learned this from?
I don't really know philosophy.
Do whatever seems all right in the moment. Henry Higgins, a notion as profound as any.
Well, sometimes I just say these things.
As of today, I intend to start living my life in accordance with the teachings of Higgins, and today, what seems all right is taking this money and investing it in myself.
Investing in how?
Well, since Mr. Cohn is no longer, perhaps Toronto could use a new private investigator.
All right, it's ready.
What's this all about?
I've been working on a little surprise. You see, William, you're right that Susanna's going to get up to all kinds of trouble. But there's nothing we can do about that. In the blink of an eye, something terrible could happen, but something wonderful, too, could happen. We have no idea what the world has in store for her. Could you get the lights?
Julia, how did you do this?
I had a little bit of help from Mr. Talman at the photo shop.
No wonder he said all of those strange things. Julia, these are marvelous.
Oh, William, I just wanted to remind you that the possibilities of her life are endless, and no tether is going to keep her from exploring them.